The courtroom lights flicker slightly as the audience settles in. There's a certain energy in the air, the kind that says something dramatic is about to happen. Cameras zoom in on Judge Judy Sheindlin, who sits behind her iconic bench, expression as sharp as a knife. Across from her stands Melissa Carter, the defendant, mid-40s, dressed too confidently for someone who's about to be grilled by Judge Judy herself. Her arms are crossed, chin slightly raised, as if daring anyone to challenge her. The plaintiff, Daniel Brooks, looks calmer, older, maybe in his late 50s, wearing a plain blue shirt. He doesn't say much, but his eyes tell you everything. He's tired. Frustrated. He's here because someone refused to treat him fairly, and today, he's counting on Judge Judy to fix it. The moment the case starts, Judy's tone is firm but fair. "Mr. Brooks," she says, "let's start with you." Daniel begins explaining. His voice is steady, respectful. "I rented a motorcycle from Miss Carter's company for my son, who was visiting over Thanksgiving." Before he can finish his sentence, Melissa interrupts. "That's not true. He didn't even." Judge Judy raises her hand instantly. "Excuse me. I'm talking to him, not to you." The room freezes. Melissa rolls her eyes but goes silent, for about 5 seconds. Then, as Daniel continues, she cuts in again. And that's when everyone realizes, this won't be an ordinary Judge Judy episode. Because today, Melissa Carter will test the limits of the most famous courtroom judge in television history. And no one who's ever seen Judge Judy lose patience wants to be in that position. By the end of this hearing, the gavel will fall harder than ever, and Melissa will walk out with a harsh lesson burned into her mind. In Judge Judy's courtroom, the moment you interrupt, you've already lost. This all began months before that dramatic day in court. Daniel Brooks was just trying to do something nice for his son. His boy was visiting from out of town for the Thanksgiving holidays, a rare reunion. Daniel wanted to rent a motorcycle so they could ride together, just like they used to when his son was younger. He had rented from Carter Motors before, 3 times, in fact. Melissa Carter, the owner, always seemed straightforward. Her small motorcycle rental business operated from a modest garage near the edge of town. Daniel had never had a problem with her before. Each time, he paid about $130 a day. This time, for the Thanksgiving weekend, he booked the bike for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, totaling $390. On September 16, 2 months in advance, Daniel called Melissa personally and confirmed the dates. She happily took his credit card payment and promised the bike would be ready when his son arrived. But fate had other plans. The next day, Daniel's son called. His trip had to be cancelled due to a sudden work issue. So Daniel immediately phoned Melissa back on September 17, less than 24 hours after the booking, and politely asked to cancel the reservation. That's when things started to go downhill. Melissa's tone changed completely. "I'm sorry," she said sharply, "we don't offer refunds. It's company policy." Daniel tried reasoning with her. "But I just booked yesterday. You haven't even prepared the bike. Can't you just refund it?" Melissa refused. "No, but I can give you a voucher for a future rental." Daniel didn't want a voucher, he didn't even know when his son would visit again. He just wanted his money back. So, reluctantly, he contacted his bank and filed a charge dispute. The bank investigated, found Daniel's cancellation to be reasonable, and reversed the charge. The $390 went back into his account. Melissa, furious, got hit with temporary overdraft and tax charges as the money moved in and out. And instead of letting it go, she filed a lawsuit, demanding Daniel pay her back for fees, taxes, and inconvenience. That's how both of them ended up standing before Judge Judy, one calm, one furious, both claiming to be right. When the case began, Judge Judy listened carefully to Daniel. He presented his side with clarity, showing receipts, call logs, and even screenshots of the charge dispute. His story was consistent, his tone respectful. So, you made the reservation on September 16th, and cancelled on September 17th? Judy asked. Yes, ma'am, Daniel replied. Less than 24 hours later. Judy nodded slowly. And you're saying you were told there are no refunds, even though she hadn't lost any business from you canceling? That's correct. Everything was straightforward, until Melissa opened her mouth. Your Honor, she blurted, that's not exactly true. The dates are wrong. He didn't call the next day, he called 3 days later. Judge Judy glanced up sharply. Ms. Carter, I wasn't asking you yet. But Melissa didn't stop. He's twisting things. My business has clear policies, and he knew that. Stop, Judy interrupted. You'll have your turn. Melissa took a breath, but seconds later, as Daniel tried to continue, she cut in again. That's when Judy leaned forward. Her voice was calm but had that icy edge every courtroom fan recognizes. When I'm speaking, she said, you're not. Melissa looked annoyed but said nothing. The silence lasted just long enough to be awkward. Then, out of nowhere, she interrupted again. Judge, if I may. No, Judy snapped. You may not. The audience chuckled nervously. Even Daniel looked uncomfortable. Judy stared at Melissa for a long moment, then said, if you don't learn to listen in the next 10 seconds, I'll end this case right now. But Melissa couldn't help herself. Her frustration took over. Her voice grew louder, her words faster, trying to out-talk the judge herself. Big mistake. By now, everyone in the courtroom knew things were going downhill, fast. Judge Judy had been patient, maybe more than usual. But Melissa's constant interruptions were pushing her limits. Then came the moment that sealed Melissa's fate. Judy asked her a simple question, you said you have 14 motorcycles. Were all of them rented out on Thanksgiving weekend, the 26th, 27th, and 28th? Melissa hesitated. No, not all. But. So you didn't lose any income because of this cancellation? Well, not directly, but that's not the point. My policy clearly states. Stop talking, Judy said firmly. Melissa ignored her and kept explaining, waving her papers around. I have it in writing, no cancellation policy, no exceptions. Ms. Carter, Judy said again, louder, I said stop talking. But Melissa still kept going, her voice overlapping the judge's. That was it. Judy slammed her pen on the desk and stared her down. You've interrupted me for the last time. You are not in charge here. I am. And you're about 2 seconds away from being thrown out of my courtroom. The room went silent. Judy continued, her tone razor sharp. You are a bad businesswoman, Ms. Carter. You charged this man for something he cancelled within 24 hours, and you suffered no financial loss. You've wasted his time, my time, and now the audience's patience. Melissa tried once more to argue, a quiet, desperate, but Your Honor. Enough. Judy cut her off. Your case is dismissed. Goodbye. Bang. The gavel hit the bench. The sound echoed like thunder. The audience burst into whispers. Melissa stood frozen for a moment, then gathered her papers, muttering under her breath, before storming out of the courtroom. As the courtroom emptied, Judge Judy leaned back slightly, shaking her head. Some people, she said, just don't know when to stop talking. Daniel smiled faintly, thankful that justice, and common sense, had prevailed. He didn't need to gloat, the truth spoke for itself. He thanked the judge, nodded respectfully, and walked out quietly. Meanwhile, Melissa's exit was the opposite, stormy and furious. She muttered about unfair treatment and bias, completely missing the point. When the episode aired, viewers across the country had one unanimous reaction: Judge Judy was right. Clips of the outburst flooded the internet. Titles like Woman Won't Stop Interrupting Judge Judy and Judge Judy Destroys Rude Business Owner went viral overnight. But beyond the entertainment value, there was a deeper message in that courtroom exchange. In life, just like in court, respect matters. Listening matters. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Melissa had every opportunity to explain her side. But by talking over the one person she needed to convince, she lost everything, her credibility, her case, and a little bit of her dignity. Judge Judy's courtroom isn't just about law, it's about discipline, fairness, and truth. And when someone challenges that by interrupting, Judy makes sure the lesson sticks. As the credits rolled on that episode, her closing words stayed with everyone watching. Respect isn't about agreeing with me. It's about knowing when to let someone else speak. And for Melissa Carter, that's one lesson she'll never forget.